Crystal says, hey, Ben, what would you say is the best evidence for God? What gives you a reason to believe? Thanks for all you do. My husband and I listen to your show every day and discuss it together. We're big fans. So I'm writing a book on this. The best evidence for God, as I have said on the show before, and as I say in Debate with Sam Harris, which I think is going to, he'll be putting that out pretty soon if he hasn't already. The basic idea is that if you believe in free will, if you believe in human reason, if you believe in our capacity to understand the universe, if you believe in a predictable universe with laws that govern it, if you believe we do not live in a chaotic universe without meaning, if you believe that you can derive ought from is, then you need to believe in a divine creator. Okay, and that's not an argument for the Bible, but that is an argument for God, right? That's the Aristotelian argument for God, is that there is a rationale behind everything. If you believe there's a rationale behind everything, then you believe in God. And if you believe, as Aquinas did, that rationale is purely actual, right? Here's sort of the argument that Aristotle makes. The argument that Aristotle makes for the unmoved mover is not that everything has a cause and therefore there's God, because then leftists and atheists just say, well, does God have a cause also, right? The idea is that everything that you see in front of you at one point was another thing that was actualized, right? There's that something has potential, and there's the potential and the actual, right? Like this piece of paper right here, this has the potential to be ash, but it requires fire in order to make it ash. Now, fire itself also had a potential at one point, right? It was a match, and it was a piece of wood, or it was a rough surface. So it had the potential to be fire, but it was not fire. So in order for something to become actual, in order for potential to be actualized, it has to be acted upon by something that is either fully actual or something that is a combination of the actual with its own potential. The idea here would be that there is something that lies behind everything that is purely actual, right? It is actuality itself. It is the most actual thing. And this thing cannot be material, because if it were material, then it would have potential for change, right? It doesn't have potential for change, therefore it is purely actual. And that pure actuality also is all-knowing, because anything that exists has to come from a place of capacity for being actualized. And so it's the un-actualized actualizer is the way that God would be put. If you want to read a good book about proofs of God, then Edward Fazer is a book I've recommended on the show. He has 5 proofs for the existence of God, quite a good book, and I recommend you check it out. Good Christmas read, actually. I would recommend that you check that out. Again, I think what it comes down to in the end is you either believe there's a purpose and meaning in human life or you don't. If you don't, you may end up an atheist. If you do, you're going to end up at God no matter how you slice it. And any attempts to avoid that, which is the debate I had with Sam Harris, any attempts to avoid that conclusion are bound to fall short.